Howdy and aloha. Welcome to Manata. The earth and you are ohana. We hope you stay and talk. Howdy and aloha, everybody. It's James with Montauk. Hi. Aloha. Yeah, there's so much going on. It's pretty crazy. We had some good discussions last night. We had Cheryl, Eric, Snork on there, Mitch, and talking about all kinds of interesting things. Look, I'm a patriot. I'm a patriot. It's just the way I was made, born, raised here in the United States, and I'm very proud of the people of my country, but not the government. I'm very proud of all kinds of things, and very humble at the same time of what we can do and what we can't do. You could say I'm a constitutionalist, but is that a bad thing? I don't think so. Because that's the reason why we are still, in my opinion, a good country, even though it's being dismantled by the Democrats mainly, and some of the Republicans aren't helping at all. And I just believe that it's time that we get out and protest and do what's needed to do to get some attention to the biggest issues. But then on the other hand, there's some good things that are happening out there. And I'm going to go through, I'm going to show you one right now, which you may have seen just watching this. Now, this is one of the boats for the America's Cup. And the America's Cup is over 100 years old. It's older than that. Okay, yeah. It's like 150 some odd years of racing boats across the ocean. And it was created, the United States, for the Americas to race against each other to see who had the fastest shipping, fastest sailboat, which is cool. And that's been happening for a long time. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Dennis Conner. Anyway, back in the 80s, early 90s, won a bunch of America's Cup. And we've had a few since then, but the Kiwis, man, Australia, New Zealand, they've just been kicking our ass lately. What you're looking at now is a 40-foot vessel. Now, all these boats are built by feet to race this race. There's the 12-foot, which is a quick class, I think. Maybe, not sure. There's a 40-foot class, and then there's the 75-foot class. This, what you're looking at, is a hydrofoil 40-foot class. This is their test boats. And this thing, if you can see, just by looking at it, it's fast. It does 3+ times the speed of the wind itself. So let's say if the wind is 10 knots, it's going to do 30 knots plus. If it's 15 knots, it's going to do 45 up to 50 knots plus. Now they're definitely over the 55 knots. Now that's like 60 miles an hour, right, on the surface of the ocean, and it's really impressive. These new hydrofoil boats, which came out just a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, but they've really stepped up. They used to have the catamarans, which were really awesome, but this thing is just flying. It's literally flying, and the way it's made is to be able to bring the wind in and over across the sail, right? There's the jib, which is in the front, the small sail, and the mainsail, or the main sail, is the bigger sail. But the way it goes, the wind slips over the boat, and then the boat is shaped so that it also creates lift, and also is able to cut through the wind as well. It's just a lot of aerodynamics, a lot of aquadynamics, lots of engineering, and a lot of these are on kind of like a autopilot in a sense. There's still a lot of navigation to be done because the they call them puffs, right? Because I did a lot of sailing in Hawaii when I was a kid, and I was really big on this one boat that they used to have. It was a 65 or 60 foot catamaran called Double Bullets back in the early 80s. It's just a beautiful boat, and I was on that boat for a little bit. I used to do a lot of catamaran sailing myself. But to watch these things, and I've never seen one in person, but I would love to see one. I think they should bring them to the Great Lakes. I think it would be fucking awesome for people to see these things fly through the ocean because it's just really amazing, and the technology. But what's great about this boat is the captains and the crew. They want to call her Patriot, which I think has been used in the past. But it's the code, the label, they call it American Magic, right? It's kind of corny, but they call her Patriot, which I think is cool, and it's good to be patriotic. And it's going to be racing in September for the 37th uh, America's Cup coming up here in the 2024. By the way, today is 5/24/2023, and I'm going to be going through some other things that may not be as positive as this, but this is good to know. What's great about this, right, is the New York Yacht Club usually is involved in these boats, but because New York is such a mess, it's a fucking crazy mess and a disgusting place to live at right now. New York, most of the blue states are just going down the tube, and it's by design. Um, DeSantis in Florida said, "Hey, bring your crew out here. We'll take care of you." So they gave him funding. They gave him like like almost $3 million. There's been other, sponsors jumping aboard, and they're doing pretty good. They had a lot of hours on this. This is more of the training boat, but the big race you want to watch, and the faster boats that are out there are the 75s. Okay, so when this comes up in September, November, October, September, October. You want to check that out because it's the races are amazing to watch, and just the navigation of these boats and how they move through the water is, they come within like feet of each other. Sometimes they collide. It's not NASCAR, but it's really interesting to watch. And I like sailing. I'm a waterman for damn sure. And I'm out here in Missouri, but until California fixes itself, I'll be in Missouri for a while. But that's some good news. Now, on the other hand, we have, we'll jump over to here. There's a bunch of crap going on. And I was recently, I'd say about 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago, I started dabbling back into TikTok. And there's just so much craziness on TikTok right now. It's just fucking nuts. And seriously, you have to navigate through this stuff because there's advertisements, there's propagandists upon propagandists, there's live shows of trans supporters and pole dancing trans supporters, and then there's people that are, Joe Bideners, and there's people that are Trumpers, and there's people that are, neutral, and people that are, know the system's, rigged, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's very interesting, just to jump through there. And it's a sort of tension span theater, because I don't think there's anything longer than like 3 minutes on there, which is basically where we're at as far as our attention span. For anybody to endure or go through one of my shows is valiant, I would say that. But it's good to, to hear somebody's perspective that's kind of been in the loop. I started my blog talk radio show in 2014, and I was talking about politics and, a lot of things that were going on out there. I've always brought up Citizens United and McCutcheon versus the FEC that nobody seems to remember. It's been forgotten about. That's getting money out of politics. So it's just about the issues, and it's not, lobbyist controlled that it is now. And then I started the YouTube channel back in late 2016. Probably had a little longer than that, just doing family stuff and all that. And then in 2020, I started, you know, discovering that fluvid-19, or this, this flu thing that came around, had a lot of questions, and I was asking a lot of questions, and I was giving my perspective and my insight and stuff like that, which I have. I had hundreds of videos at that point, five, maybe 700 subscribers at the time, and I was on my way, moving up. And then I just started asking these questions, having discussions, debating with people, etc., etc. And they didn't like that, so YouTube decided to take me down five times, five different channels. So I'm on my sixth, seventh, and eighth right now. Two of my channels have two strikes. This one has two. The other one has two. I just started another one just because these ones are probably on their way out the door. But the subscribers are losing subscribers constantly because they're just like, well, you need to watch your words. You need to be careful what you say. And I'm all like, well, that's when they start winning. That's when the Orwellian Ministry of Truth, right, which is the opposite of truth, comes in and starts shutting you down because you have a different perspective, or you have a conclusion that you think is more relevant than what Anderson Cooper is talking about, or Rachel Maddow is talking about, or Sean Hannity is talking about. Right? You have a different, maybe, let me see, because your research is different, because you've actually done your due diligence, you've chickadee checked yourself before you wrecked yourself, and you display information that could be helpful to some, and maybe not to the oligarchs. And we all know that everything out there is controlled by the oligarchs, and we're talking about the rich families, the big names. We're talking about the giant corporations that run pretty much everything, which is the United States is somewhat of a corporation, isn't it? The Federal Reserve is just a heinous entity, or a corporation actually. And there's a lot of things out there that people have questions about, but you know what? Let's not let these people talk, debate, have discussions, unite, come together, have to, and just have a conversation. So they take you down. Well, I've always said that you're not going to catch any flack if you're not close to the target. What that means is, from surface to air guns they used to use back in World War I, II, World War III actually started in 2020 when everybody bought the whole flu scam thing. That's when the World War III actually started. That's when it actually started. People want to say it's Ukraine. It's not Ukraine. It's not China. It's not Russia. It's not anybody. It's us internally and domestically to get rid of the people that have succumbed or been compromised to the global elitist sick fuckers out there. But I kind of lost my train of thought. But the whole thing is I think it's vitally important for everybody and everyone to have a voice, right? I mean, isn't that our First Amendment rights? I mean, that's just not debatable. But it is to them. They don't want you to unite. They don't want you to have conversations. They don't want you to maybe find common ground. That's a very bad term to them, common ground, which there is common ground. There's tons of common ground in this day and age, right? And I think once, which is going to be hard because there's a lot of people out there that did get the boot, they did get the boosters along with it. They're totally committed. There's no way to get them out. They're done. Those people, you can't help them anymore. I've tried for years, since early 2020. If you look in my Odyssey channel, you can easily see that I've done my very best to warn as many people as possible of of what's been going on, and I've been doing, you know, what I can besides others that took the thing twice. Like, here's a good example right here. This guy, Jimmy Dore, Mister Clarity Encourage, Clarity Encourage. Question everything, but yet he took it, and then he did it again. Right? I mean, how many other people followed him into that pit of hell? Which he doesn't apologize for. He needs to. He needs to come out and say, "I just need to get this off my chest. I messed up," and I say that constantly. And this is the biggest problem I see on social media. Crystal Ball just recently just pulled a full The View or a Joy Reid, um, uh, you know, uh, Lawrence situation or program when she interviewed RFK Jr. That was just ridiculous. That was just like watching. It was like watching uh, Rachel Maddow, but she doesn't interview anybody anyway because she just has stuff she throws out that she's told to say, right, and she has to beef it up and put a little personality into it, whatever. And she gets paid good money to do that, which is amazing to me because of her her viewers numbers have dramatically fallen over time. It's just been terrible. I don't even know why she's there because they need her there. If she doesn't keep selling the Kool-Aid, right? If she literally the Kool-Aid, Jim Jones Kool-Aid, the death stuff, then they can't reach their goal. And their goal, as I've said, and this is their major goal, is to get rid of 2/3 of the population. It's clearly indicated on their website. Just go to the World Economic Forum. You can see it. It's in fucking print. You know, these people that want to depopulate. I mean, why would you want to be a friend with somebody that wants to depopulate? It's like, so you want to get rid of me, right? Right? And then you have two people that both want to depopulate. So one's going, I want to get rid of you. No, I want to get rid of you. No, I want to get rid of you. No, it's just nonsensical. We are hunter gatherers, turned somewhat farmers over thousands of years, and maybe hundreds of thousands of years, right? And our goal is to thrive and breed and prosper and continue to grow. That's just the way it is. There's no other species, I don't think, that doesn't want the same thing. You don't see butterflies holding back on producing. You don't see rabbits definitely doing it. It's just, or anything probably in the galaxy or the universe itself. There's plenty of planets out there. There's plan Bs. We just have the wrong people in power. And we have the wrong people in power taking um, orders or marching orders or scripts or instruction from some sick pedophilia, narcissistic, tyrannical, authoritarian type monsters that are out there now that are controlling a lot of things. We're talking Blair, Soros, Kochs. You go back and forth on both sides, on every side. There's some sick fuckers out there, and if you're paying attention to people like James Corbett, Whitney Webb, Ryan Christian, who I've had on this program, but I think we did it on Red Economics. But anyway, but we had a really great conversation on who's really controlling all this, right? And who's being influenced by this. And I got to tell you, it's very hard. It's extremely hard for people to be able to see past this billboard after billboard after billboard of the marketing and advertising that's out there. It's tough. People buy it left and right. If you're watching regular news on these regular channels, ABC, CBS, PBS, crap, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, BBC, you name it, right? You got to watch that Stu Peters with the BBC. It was great. Which you've got to be careful with these people because they get their money from the very people that are trying to eliminate you, that are depopulating you. This is it. People can't wrap their head around the fact that there are a group of people out there, maybe a handful of people, right? These sickos that are trying to hoard everything, and literally they are hoarding everything. And a lot of our legislators, a lot of our judiciaries, a lot of, probably more, the majority of them more, executives and department heads have bought into this. You know, Jimmy Dore bought into it, right? He hasn't been accurate forever. I mean, he keeps saying Fauci did this, and then he did this, and then he changes the story that he's more this, and then he started that. No, Fauci's just a criminal. He's just a criminal. Bill Gates is a criminal, right? All these people that are associated with the FDA, the CDC, Zelensky, it's criminals. They're fucking criminals. I don't care how you shape this stuff or where you get your information. They're all compromised. They're all criminals. Health and Human Services, criminal entity. FDA, criminal entity. CDC, absolutely a criminal entity. Right? These need to be reconstruction and even renamed. We don't need, center on death control. How about that, right? That's a good one, right? I mean, you can go on and on and on. Horrific health and suicides, HHS. You could also say, what's the FDS? Federal Death Administration, right? FDA. I mean, they don't care. I mean, right in the beginning, this right here, right? And this has been out for years. Margarine is just crap. It's like the worst product ever created on the planet. Margarine is one molecule away from plastic and shares 27 ingredients with paint. Bon appetit. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, at least go to the FDA and look up all the recalled products. And it's never ending. Never ending. The way because there's so much corporate influence, it's crazy. So the stuff they put out is completely and absolute poison. And it's been that way for a long time, and they don't care because a hospital, big pharma, big elderly care, they don't make money off of healthy people, right? They don't make a dime if you don't step door in that doctor's office, right? Or if you don't check yourself into the hospital. Look, there are accidents, broken bones, car accidents. I get that. We need those services, right? But when the first thing that your doctor does, as soon as after he's done examining you, is he throws a prescription at you, right? And doesn't say, well, why don't you just not eat margarine? Why don't you not use vegetable oil, right? Vegetable oil is also extremely terrible for you. The best things right now to use is olive oil, and that's still questionable. Avocado oil, and that's still questionable. But the thing that was used before all of that, almost 100 years ago, and they got rid of it like 80 years ago. Like 70, no, they got rid of it, in the 70s, right? The late 70s or late 80s was lard. Everybody used lard. The body, hunter-gatherer. The body was able to digest, process, and move lard because it's just animal fat, right? And then all these studies, you want to get away from it, but that's been wrong. There's so many studies out there now by people that actually aren't compromised, that aren't getting money from big pharma, big hospital, big elderly care, big corporations, that are producing information on YouTube, on TikTok, on Odyssey, on Rumble, on BitChute, even on Twitch and wherever else, that are saying they've been wrong about so many fucking things. And yet you go on the FDA website, that list of everything. I mean, I've seen in the past, I don't know, 5 years easily, that a lot of stuff that they've taken down, and you can name hundreds of things in that time, that they've recalled, I've had in my life. A lot of it. And so is everybody else. But once I got privy to what they're about and what they do and what their major goal is to methodically kill you, so they can first make money off you with machinery or certain devices, right? Cancer. Hey, Jordan, Malo, brother, Malo, congrats to you, brother. Oh, thank you. Yeah, my brother graduated from Berkeley. It's fucking amazing. At 60, what a fucking trooper, right? It's time for my talk to go viral. Yes, thank you. I'm trying, but they're after me because they know. I mean, I've been labeled an influence operator. There's no doubt. What I'm finding very interesting, though, as I kind of go off track here, we all know that everything on the store shelves is poison, right? A lot of people are going to the Amish stores. Why? Because their products are pure, the way they used to be made. When you go back, and we were talking about this last night, the original ingredients for Cheerios was basics. And then about 20 to 25 years later, they started adding additives, right? And they started adding, and then I mean, it's crap now, you know. I'll still get it though every once in a while because I like to have a couple of my Cheerios. I like Honey Nut Cheerios. Anyway, that's just me, you know. And then Captain Crunch has already been crappy, but and then the processed sugar to granule, real sugar is a big difference. The more pure and this could be like a health show, which I am not the epitome of health at all because I'm going to sit here and drink my beer, and then I'm going to go make some eggs and hash browns later. Because that's what I like to eat, right? I got some sausage patties, which is good. But the thing is, they're if we are serious about being stronger, quicker, faster, smarter, right? As yourself, just being, because you'd like to be. Wouldn't you like to be quicker, faster, stronger? But of course, right? But that's not their goal, right? That's not their goal. And I'm going to allude to a really interesting observation that I had today when I was at my daughter's. And some family was there, and we were watching. And he's saying, "You got to watch this guy. He was on American Idol, and he's Polynesian, and he sings really good, like he sang and all this other shit." And so we're watching it, and I go, the first thing that happens is they bring out this 400-pound at least teenager who was Polynesian. And I go, oh, God. I go, oh, my God. Right? And, of course, he was beautiful. His voice was angel-like, for sure, right? But let me show you. I'm going to show you real quick a few pictures, which you'll start to realize that's not the case. That is not the case. And I think I'm in the right place. Okay. Yeah. Right. And if you look at all these pictures, some of these are very old now, right? But where are all the fat Hawaiians? The fat Polynesians? I don't see them, right? Anybody fat here? Let me see. This is old. This is, God, like the 40s or something like that, right? Let's see. Let's find another one, right? Here, the tattoos. This was drawn. I've seen this picture a bunch of times. So this was drawn, um, Mythic Hawaii, right? And all the tattoos. My son got a $2,200 tattoo the other. I'm like, what the fuck? But this right here, if you look at this picture of this gentleman, right, and this was drawn in 17 in the 1800s, 1771, 1770, 78, right? The voyage European, all that stuff. So this is the artist on the boat. Now let me ask you a question. Does that guy look fat to you? Because in the diary of Captain Cook, one of the things that he said, I've never seen a more perfect species of human structurally, or something of that nature. The physique, he mentioned physique and all that. And we weren't fat. We were in fucking badass shape. We were all just tremendously in shape. And that happens to a lot of tribes, okay? But more so in the past few hundred years because of donuts, rice, French fries, stuff that has plagued me for a long time. I'm telling you. But they ate pure and natural food. Pure taro, pure pork, pure, you know, they didn't, deep fry everything in vegetable oil. Um, and they ate fish a lot, tons of fish, like probably the freshest fish that you can't find anymore. Hey, good luck trying to find a fish without some kind of microplastic inside of it. Good luck. Good luck. Um, and this was just very prevalent back then. This was everywhere. This is how they were. They were extremely, like this guy right here, ancient history. Right? I don't know if that's the correct pose, but that's an interesting pose. Right? Because the Hawaiians, what the hell is this? Oh Jesus! Some stupid fucking website. Um, right? They freaking were in good shape. Oh, this one's really old. This one right here. This is the Honolulu Star Bulletin. The ancients. Yeah, the Hawaiians look like they were in really shitty shape. This is 1779 expedition, right? The ancients, they were called. This is Bishop Museum, which is, I actually had when I was younger. It might still be up there. I won a contest and flew from Kauai to Oahu, and they put one of my waves, a surfing guy on a surfboard of a wave. It was on fire. It was really cool. But I had that in a display at Bishop Museum, and we were flown over to go see the people, like three of us, that won for the island of Kauai, and it was just the fucking coolest thing ever. But I looked at so many of these pictures, and I remember this one for sure. And look how fat these fuckers are. Right? Look how fat these guys. And what I should do, just to show you what I'm talking about in regards to this kid, which I should, I must. Alright, that would be, I am Tongi, American Idol, right? I am Tongi, American Idol. So I'm gonna try to look for when is the first time judges cry. right? When he first walks in, there's a commercial, so we're not going to get to it yet. But I'm just telling you. I am just telling you, people. I am telling you. I am telling you. I am telling you. Right? Um, the stuff they're putting in our food is poison. They're not. It's not an accident. They keep saying just the label. You can read it and all this other stuff. There's junk that's out there that is so bad for you. It is extremely and terribly bad for you, and it's sad. Okay, so let's look. Oh, look this young, and I think it was 17 at the time when he auditioned. Right? I mean, bless his heart. He's a beautiful, wonderful singer. Love the music. This wonderful voice. You know, but I'm going to tell you, this is a travesty. This is, you know, this, and it's not his fault. This is what people need to realize. This is not his fault, right? This is, I think, when he first comes on. Right? Now look at that. That's a 17-year-old child in Hawaii. Now I'm not using this to put down the poly people. I'm telling you that the poly people weren't that. We were this. We were. That's who we were, right? That was everywhere. The Tongans, Fijians, Samoans, all over. This is what we looked like, And you will rarely see somebody like this, right? Look at that, muscles, shoulders, legs. Look at the calves. I got big fucking calves. Ask anybody. My calves are abnormally big. Our government is crazy in Utah, my friend, that wants to homeschool her kid, and the school said if she homeschooled her kid, she would be charged with a Class B misdemeanor. Oh my God! Yeah, and the school systems are following. Yeah, and Michelle Obama, or excuse me, Michael Obama, which is his real name. This guy, not to change the subject, but I get distracted. I'm a fucking hunter gatherer. Goddamn it! Had this big thing when they were in office about school lunches and they weren't good enough, but all the food that was being put into the school system was coming from a Monsanto field. And a Monsanto field means that it's absolutely pure poison. And now Bill Gates has this stuff called Appeal, and there's a few other things that are out there that are being coated on our food. They're saying it's to preserve them and all this other. No. We've been shipping food across the. I mean, how did Cook get to Hawaii? By the way, it didn't take him 4 or 5 days or 10 days. It took him like months to get there. And they had a way of preserving food in salt and other containers that kept food for a long time. So what we're going through now is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Well, it's to help you. No, it's not, because we know what your end goal is. Okay, we know what your end goal, Bill Gates, is. We know what your end goal is, Fauci. We know what your end goal is, Tony Blair. We know what your end goal is, Trudeau. We know what your end goal is, Newsom. Gavin Newsom, you murderous hack. We know what your end goal is, all you blue state idiots. You're murdering hacks. They're just a bunch of murderers. They know what they're doing. They understand the entire process. But what they don't understand is there's people like me, people like Jordan, people like Cheryl, people like even people like Snork. They come on the show. Ryan Christian, James Corbett, Whitney Webb, Johnny Vedmore, a little bit from Combo Couch, a little bit from Jimmy Dore, a little bit from how do I forget? I keep getting it mixed up. Roar Media, right? Beauty and the Boomer, Trailer Park Pundit, good information, right? And there's a bunch of others out there that I subscribe to, right? Nico House will tell you for sure. And I'm just that their goal, and they know this. They know this. It's not, and they don't need your money anymore. And I keep telling people this. They once CBDC goes into full effect, that's central bank digital currency. Central bank digital currency, that means that just a handful, I'm going to repeat it, just a handful of people will have absolute and total control over all money everywhere digitally. So now, if I'm one of those handful of people, and let's just say I needed something done, and it's going to cost me $1 billion to do it, done. I think I need a couple of islands. I want to make some more Epstein Islands, right? Let me buy a few. No problem. For you, because you're not following ESG, environmental social governance, right? Environmental social governance, then you're going to be screwed. I'm going to get into that in a second, but I want to get back on track with this. Is we have a problem here, Houston. We have a problem here, right? There's a picture I showed, which I think is really interesting. This is, beautiful kid, wonderful family. So congratulations to him for making it through. But please do what you can just to try to get in shape, bro. Just a little bit, And I am not one to speak, right? But you have a chance. You're younger. You can still train yourself and your body to get those better habits that I have, and that I've been trained to do. A lot of people have been trained this way. His entire life, he was trained to go eat at McDonald's and eat ice cream and all this other stuff. And after you win the game at the football game, you go get some ice cream. That's which is wrong. You should get a basket of fruit. You would have, here's a basket of the best fruits on the planet that's the most organic. Thank you. That's when you say thank you. But we've been conditioned to think that it's, look, a donut here and there is fine with me. Look, a pastry or whatever, and like my grandfather and grandma and mom and others have always said, everything in moderation, right? But with this stuff, the junk that they have out there, and I think I can find a quick picture of all the junk that they have out there. I think I was able to lock down something. Press conference. I think I was able to grab kind of the point that I'm talking about here. That the wonderful foods that they're giving you constantly. It's just shit, crap, shit, crap, shit, and crap. Let me see my map. Where is it? Okay. Friends, photos. That's not it. Why isn't that out there? It's really strange. Let's see if I got it in here. On Twitter. Notifications, aka. Oh, thank you. Somebody. Thank you. They resent my stuff. I thank you very much. That wonderful person was. It's not left versus right. It's not. I don't know why. I keep telling everybody, thank you very much. So it seems Twitter has removed my pinned tweet, of course. Right? Let's share her stuff. Or his stuff, or their stuff. 1,288. Yeah, they've been on. I'm going to follow this person now because they're right. They're totally right on what's going on out there. And I can't emphasize more on that. It's not about, thank you for centering me back to where I need to be. It is not about a guy in a dress. Yes, get him out of the fucking bathroom, the women's bathroom. Yes, Get them out of the books. Get them away from our children. Fuck yeah. Yeah. But right now, these people are literally killing millions of people methodically, slowly but surely. And that's the problem. That is the biggest problem. And the warped speed Kool-Aid that came out in 2021, that was, didn't have testing. They tested on like 8 mice or something, and it doesn't stop any transmission of fucking anything, right? It doesn't do anything. It's causing more problems, and they pulled it off of the market, and now they're going to start some new, disease that's coming out. I mean, just continuous, and they're going to keep trying to push this, right? They're going to keep trying to push this. I can't find that fucking picture though. God damn, I'm a little pissed off about that. Yeah. But thank you, aka MT Pocatus. If you want to come on, just let us know. Let me get to that real quick here. Go to the profile. I think I got a picture that I put up recently. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at this first, because this is where I was going to go anyway. So we're going to go. Great job to you, my friend. Just please, Ezekiel, who sung "Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Bluebirds Fly." That guy died at like the age of 39 or 40, early 40s. It's terrible. It's travesty. He was like 500 pounds. It's terrible. Don't let that happen to you, man. Right? Fight against this. Eat better. Don't just a few things a week. Get back to basics. If you need some information on it, contact me. Because I'm eating a lot better than I used to. When you get older, you fucking do it anyway. When you're younger, you're impenetrable. But no, obviously, you're not. Here's an example. You're not. Right? If you want to save that voice, that career, your life, I recommend that just try a little, just change your direction just a tiny bit. And I'm not saying for you to totally jump off track of what you always do, but just change the track a little bit every once in a while, right? That's all I'm saying. And then soon you'll be on the right path. Put one foot in front of the other, bitty. Right? That's what I'm talking about. All right, so let me get to this real quick. And I got it on there. Yeah. So this is the ESG score, okay? And this is where it gets bad because, as I said, their goal is to depopulate. But let me get to, hold on. ESG, right? Like I said, environmental social governance. So we're going to be governed by the government and their police and the military to not drive a gas car too much, not buy meat too much or eat meat too much. They're going to tell us exactly when to do it and how to do it, and they've got gradings for it. CCC, Lagarde, bad, A leader, good, all this other shit. It's just fucking nuts. And this is part of their fucking process, right? By the way, this is what we did to earn money when we were kids. That's what we did, right? That's how we earned money. We didn't have it. This is our GoFundMe account when we were kids, right? And we were in shape. We moved around. I mean, I'm telling you. When I got big when I was about, let me see, probably about 22, 23. I got bigger, and then I joined the military, and I was good. Then I just been kind of a heavy set guy, about 250, 260. But anyway, I still need to do a lot more work, so I really shouldn't be saying this, but I'm just trying to warn people that it's easy to jump into that trap, right? It's easy to jump into that place. So let me see, there's some other pictures here that I brought up. Be proud of fucking winning. Be proud of winning for your country, for sure, for sure, for sure. Oh, here it is, right here. So this is on their website. This is a picture I took just a few days ago of corporate governance. This is the new rule of the World Economic Forum, right? And if you look at this, it's very simple, very to the point, right? And if you click the corporate governance part, it breaks up into little pieces here. And the little pieces are very obvious that it says emerging market multinational. Now, this is NAFTA on steroids. And the reason why Detroit City, or the reason why we lost our ability to produce and to create and build, was because of NAFTA. Because all our stuff moved where? To China, to Russia, to Saudi Arabia, to fucking everywhere else, to India, definitely India, to everywhere else but here. And we've been suffering for it ever since, right? Banking and capital markets, CBDC, FedNow, crap, that's going to be part of it. That's part of corporate governance. Okay, if you go to collisionconference.com, right, these are the entrepreneurial ships, finance and monetary systems, right? And that's part of the CBDC. But the Collusion Conference is just entrepreneurs and businesses, but it's all led by the World Economic Forum, trying to suck you in, motherfuckers. They're trying to suck you in. But go to the World Economic Forum and look at one of these wheels. You'll be astonished to see that it's a bunch of, it's craziness. It's fucking craziness, right? And then this came out, and this is what we're trying to stop right now, because the World Health Organization, the U.S. pandemic policy is out there, and people are trying to stop that, which I think is true, because they're trying to take away our sovereignty. Contact your HOR, House of Representative, and demand they stop the WHO, CA Plus, say World Together for Equitability, aka the Pandemic Treaty. I just, call the number. I know it by heart, 202-224-3121. That number again is 202-224-3121. Talk to your representative and let them know. No WEF, no WHO, no CBDC. Fuck this environmental social governance crap, because it's just crap. It's just designed to kill us. Look at how this thing works. It's just diabolical. It's diabolical, right? The Netherlands are going through crap right now in regards to this. It's terrible. Like, look at here's the problem: the clean water and sanitation. All right, we should have the cleanest water and sanitation, but we don't. And we don't because we have people trying to kill us. Affordable and clean energy. Oh yeah, sure. I'm okay with that. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Okay, for who? For what country, right? Sustainable cities and communities. Oh, that's the one. That's the 15-minute cities. This is all lined in 15-minute cities, right? They all kind of interconnect with each other. Responsible consumption and production. This is the one you need to be concerned about, because right here, right? I don't know if you can see my pointer on here. Can you see my pointer on here? I think you can, yeah. Right here is where they're going to get you a CBDC. So let's say, for example, you're not disposing your water properly, or you're taking advantage of your energy properly, or you don't have it set on a certain thermostat degree or Fahrenheit or Celsius that's recommended, and you're not using the most innovative technology and stuff that they're offering you, for your home that only they provide, and then while you're in your city, you throw a piece of paper on the ground and somebody reports you, then responsible consumption and production means that they'll ding you. They'll ding you. The social governance system, right? The CBDC here. Wait, where is it? Did I just have it? Yeah, I just had it. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Will ding you for it. They'll take money. They won't allow you to. This is already happening in China. This has been happening in China for a year or so. It's bad before, but it's 1,000 times worse now. There are people that can't fly, travel, go see their family and friends because they accidentally made a mistake. Maybe they're not doing these things, and there's nobody they can't challenge it. That's the biggest issue here, is they can't challenge it. I've brought this up before in the past. I brought this whole system up a couple years ago. Of course, they took it down on what they're fucking trying to do. You won't be able to challenge their authority. If you rebuke or you challenge or you become archaic, right? Or in a sense, not compliant, you're not being complacent, you're not obeying, they'll fucking ding you. They'll strip you of everything because they control your money. They will control your money. People I'm telling you, this is fucking now happening. And we have to stop this. And there are a few people that are stopping it. There are a few out there that are saying, I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to do that. Right? Which I think is a good thing. We have, let me see where we're at here. I think didn't I put that up the other day, or is it taken down already? Let me see what else I got. Yeah, it's this one right here. Right? Let me have her explain it. Let me have this lady explain it for you.
In 10 years. I'm going to talk about that. We have to achieve the SDGs in 10 years. I'm going to talk about that, but with a quick introduction to the Better Than Cash Alliance. We're hosted by the United Nations, and we are an alliance of governments and companies and international organizations that are each committed, each has to commit before they join the alliance to moving away from cash to some form of digital option. We've got to solve this problem. And we have to solve it because we care about achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Did you know that every single government in the world has committed to these? Every single government to agree to these. The government of Norway, the government of Australia, the government of Ethiopia, the government of Rwanda. And the timeline is 10 years from now.
Yes, folks, digital IDs, digital currencies, this whole digital smart grid, and it's being rolled out and agreed upon by every government in the world. Think about that, folks. They are all working in lockstep to implement this plan, and it's been carried out.
We have to achieve the SDGs in 10 years. I'm going to talk about that, but with a quick introduction to the Better Than Cash Alliance. We're hosted by the United Nations, and we are an alliance of governments and companies and international organizations that are each committed, each has to commit before they join the alliance to moving away from cash to some form of digital option. We've got to solve this problem. And we have to solve it because we care about achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Did you know that every single government in the world has committed to these? Every single government to agree to these. The government of Norway, the government of Australia, the government of Ethiopia, the government of Rwanda. And the timeline is 10 years from now.
Yes, folks, digital IDs, digital currencies, this whole digital smart grid, and it's being rolled out and agreed upon by every government in the world. Think about that, folks. They are all working in lockstep to implement this plan, and it's been carried out by every government in the world. And yet here we have...
We have to achieve the SDGs in 10 years. I'm going to talk about that, but with a quick introduction to the Better Than Cash Alliance. We're hosted by the United Nations, and we are an alliance of governments and companies and international organizations that are each committed, each has to commit before they join the alliance to moving away from cash to some form of digital option. We've got to solve this problem. And we have to solve it because we care about achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Did you know that every single government in the world has committed to these? Every single government to agree to these. The government of Norway, the government of Australia, the government of Ethiopia, the government of Rwanda. And the timeline is 10 years from now.
Yes, folks, digital IDs, digital currencies, this whole digital smart grid, and it's being rolled out and agreed upon by every government in the world. Think about that, folks. They are all working in lockstep to implement this plan, and it's been carried out by every government in the world. And yet here we have governments pretending they're at loggerheads with each other, pretending they're at war with each other, pretending that we need government to protect us from the other governments when they're all working together. They're all working together as one big club, folks. This is what I've been saying to you for years. You've got to stop thinking about the world as different countries and different governments and realise it's one big holding company. Each government is basically a different franchise of the same corrupt system. Their goal is to pit the people against each other, to create theatre wars, theatres of conflict, theatres of confrontation between each governments, so we are always intimidated and feel scared that we're going to be invaded by some other country. You know, and it's just so our government can convince us that we need the government there to protect us. Of course, because of the terrorists and all the shootings and all the stuff that's happening, oh, well, we need all this digital ID and all this shit. They do it all themselves, folks. Problem, reaction, solution. You don't see normal people just going out and shooting up schools and things. And when these gunmen go out and they shoot up places, why is it always children and schools? Like, they're pissed off with the system, so they go and shoot up kids in some school somewhere. Never go shoot up the government, oh no. Don't do that. They're going to shoot up innocent people who have nothing to do with any of the problems in their lives. They have issues, they go and trash department stores, steal from small businesses, never steal from the government, never steal from the big businesses, never go and shoot up the government houses. It's always small people because it's all contrived to bring about this situation that we're in now. And to convince us that we need government there to protect us, and to convince people that all of these shootings and all of this terrible stuff and this theft and all these things are going to stop if we have digital IDs and digital passports and all this crap that they're doing. And they're doing it everywhere, folks. It's the same thing in every country. And not only that, but they freely admit that it's the same in every country.
Every single government in the world has committed to these. Every single government.
In Australia now, they're trialling digital licenses in regional Victoria. In Ballarat, they're rolling out digital licenses. Because once they get it all digital, once they've got it all on your smartphone, then all the information's there. You know, when the cop pulls you over and asks to see your license, you're going to have to hand him your smartphone. He's going to walk back to his car with your smartphone. He's going to put in a code. He's going to know every single thing about you. Download your profile, put in a back door on your phone, all sorts of...
He'll already have that. He'll already have all that information. That's what the CBDC is about. It's not about them having to do a single thing more to know more about who you are and stuff. It's the process is this. It's Orwellian, George Orwell, Huxley. Just read their books, and many others out there that have shown this to be one of the ones that I definitely recommend following is looking into G. Edward Griffin. G. Edward Griffin. He's been on top of this for fucking ever, and it's being implemented. And just recently, thankfully, we have had some people, that have been finally doing something about it. And this is recent. And
my colleagues behind me are here is to call attention to something that is very serious and threatens this country. The reason is on May 21st through May 30th, it's a possibility that this president will be giving away our sovereignty. It's a possibility that several agencies have been compromised by China, which they have. What Tetros has done is undermine not only the WHO, but every country that's a member. We sent out a letter on May 10th to Kevin McCarthy to defund, for the United States to defund the World Health Organization. We are now putting in roughly $700 million, which is unbelievable that this country's doing that. The reason.
So we're funding our own demise. And by the way, Trump pulled that funding away, and I think he did it in 2018, and everybody was pissed off about that. Well, the oligarchs, the people that Eric's talking about right here, which are the pedophiles, right? The child predators, et cetera, et cetera. Eric's saying government-funded pedophilia at the border, child protective services, and in school systems is all groomers and sick. It's just the whole narrative is just disgusting. These are orders these people are getting to put this stuff in the schools. And I made a TikTok about it. I should show it right now. And the TikTok I made about it was, I think, very well done. It just basically shows you what's going on and what they're doing. Where's the one that I put here? It's right. Let me refresh this. Yeah. So I put this here. Right? I don't know where I got that music from. Anyway. I think that's the music that came with it. It's terrible. But I keep saying, at these school board meetings, the question that needs to be asked over and over again is who exactly is organizing, allowing, and authorizing these PGAs, which is pedo groomer attacks, their attacks on our children. Go up the chain of command and keep going up and keep going up. Also follow the money, right? I keep asking for these. I mean, I get the complaints are viable. The stuff they're putting in the schools and the books, and it's just sickening. It's just fucking sickening. But they need to be asking. So who gave you that order, Mr. Board School Member person? Who gave you that order? Where did you get this idea from to start doing this? Can you give me a name? Right? And if you go up the chain of command, you'll end up here. You'll end up at the World Economic Forum. This entity, this Amway fucking meeting, Davos crap that they have. These are all the sick fuckers, right? Stop the WEF.org, which I created, is basically a metaphor, right? And what that is to let people know right? That we need to stop this crap, because these everybody associated with this association or whatever the fuck it is, this cult, needs to be held liable and accountable for all this sickness, disgusting distractions, everything that's happening. Everything. Your individual rights are above all, right? Do you do what you can to protect them now? Protest now. Protest now. And I keep saying that, and the ways to do it and everything like that. And then I also go into this, which is extremely important, and it shows right here. I made this picture probably late 2020, once I figured it out what they were doing, and because I was getting information from those sources that I gave you earlier: mass social control, mass depopulation, world central banking. That's it. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, and the WEF is part of BlackRock, they're part of Vanguard, Chatham House, Council on Foreign Relations. All these globalist entities and NGOs and these associations. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the World Health Organization, the CDC is involved, NIH, G20, G7s, all this stuff. They're all involved. This is part of their plan, right? Is to do these three major things: mass social control, mass depopulation, world central banking. That's it. And people are finding that out. People are actually finally putting the fucking dots together, and it really seems like these people that were that created this finally did it, right? Let me go back and see if we. Now, I mean, they just admitted, right? They just admitted that they're. It's too big now. Hang on, let me make this smaller so you can see it. Right? They just admitted that they're doing what's called cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is the nice word for it, right? But they in a sense kind of tell you what they're throwing out there, but it's not what they're throwing out there. If you go to geoengineeringwatch.org, you'll see on paper what they've produced and what they're throwing in the skies and these chemtrails. I mean, look at this. This stuff, I've seen it. I saw it here the other day. This fucking few planes were flying over, just leaving these giant clouds streaming across. And I mean, this is everywhere. And they're leaving substances, tons of barium, strontium, and aluminum, day and night, 24/7, 365. This stuff is fucking not a joke, and they're doing it because they're saying they're trying to fix cause more rain and the drought, and it's just no, it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It's a genocidal process. It's a genocidal process, and it's been that way for a long time. And then what Eric mentioned, which I think is important to realize, is that just below, we got to watch this, is we're having this new invasion, right? This giant new invasion of...
I am live in Eagle Pass, Texas, and what your audience is looking at right now is a military camp where they are housing and bringing young adult males of fighting age straight off the river on white buses into this facility. Those camps are used to bring in only young adult males. All of the males that you're seeing coming over the border, this is where they're housing them. This has been a planned, coordinated effort to take down the United States of America, I believe, like a Trojan horse from inside.
So what can the people in Eagle Pass, Texas do in the county that you're in to stop what is happening? I mean, obviously you're there exposing it. What should they be doing?
Our congressmen, our governors, they need to act, and they need to act now. I'm telling America right now, stop living under a rock. This is an active, well-coordinated invasion into the nation. We have Iran's Revolutionary Guard and Quds forces flying into Venezuela. The Venezuelan government has been giving them passports and proper documentation. They're being absorbed in these caravans. It's mostly Venezuelans coming in, all males. If you think that that fertilizer is not going to be utilized, those ammonium nitrate that can be used as massive bombs. Timothy McVeigh, when he blew up the Oklahoma City bombing, I think it was only 2 tons that he used. 26 tons went missing. Is it going to take multiple little mini 9/11 events for America for you to wake up? I am live in Eagle Pass, Texas.
That's a good point. And I warned against this fucking 2020. If you go to my Odyssey, you'll find out. I'm not sure which one it was. It was probably. Let me go back here. Yeah. I also had Dr. Andrew Kaufman on. I totally exposed Luc Montagnier, 2008 Nobel Prize winner who found HIV, stated that was altered, as you can read here. Let's see if I can get this up. I want to make sure you can read it. And there's Luc Montagnier, and he died a year later, less than a year later after doing that interview on France's some state television show that they had there. Right, and you just read what it says. Just read what it says, because it's what it is. What it is what it is. And he clearly indicated, right? For one, the biggest thing that he said, that anybody could have created the blueprint that was sent out by the WHO of the fluvid, the fluvid. Anybody could have made that. He said a 12-year-old could have fucking made that. You're just slapping information in something, and they sent that out to the world. And he also said that there's, with that blueprint that he looked at, there's a HIV spike protein in it. Well, that's interesting, because the only way that can happen is you'd have to physically insert that. And he put a lot of this information out there, and then now he's dead. Right? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Yeah, so, maybe I'm getting touchy here, and I'll probably be stripped just for bringing this up. But this is where I get into all the stuff that I had talked about. Right? And then I had to change another channel and get a new channel, which you're seeing there. It just fucking went on and on and on. Let me see which one I was at. Then I brought up Dr. David Martin, who went back through the patents. Steve with Red in Economics used to help me with a lot of this. I wish she would get back on. She does really good research and stuff like that. She's great at getting the message out. I wish she'd get back on there and start doing her thing, because she definitely was an asset at that, for sure. And I went over all this stuff. Rand and Tony going at it with the correct questioning, and I proved that Rand Paul's questioning was elementary. Going after Fauci, he was asking the wrong questions. And then we find out that that guy was completely wrong, right? Let me see. Dividing into the abyss again. That's what morals, ethics, government, doctors to public isn't being questioned. This is one of them. I think that got me taken down. Stu Peters had a great interview with Dr. David Martin back in those days. Just some really good stuff that I had, and I went over just to go over what the fuck was going on. CDC data was crap. And then I started talking about this is a year ago, more than a year ago, for sure. It could be a year and like 11 months, right? And then I started talking about the Great Reset. Will the resist conquer the reset, which we'll be able to beat this megalithic psyop, Will we be able to? And it didn't seem like it. Will we be able to conquer the Great Reset? Myself and others believe we can, and we must continue to believe that for sure. We had Chris Richardson on. He ran Green Party in the past. Now he's totally changed. I brought up the World Central Banking back then. This is at least 2 years ago. And all the states that were just totally in on this, right? All the states that are blue that were all in on the mandates and the masks and the fucking lockdowns. The Washington Post had some crappy data. I mean, I've been on top of all this stuff. This one's 3 hours, this one's 4 hours, this one's 4 hours, this one's 4 hours, this one's 3 hours, this one's 2.5 hours. And I did a little short one here. I first had found. Then I did one for 3 hours or 3 minutes, right? But I've been on top of this. I've got tons and tons of information. Like if you go here to the toolkit, the blog, and you can look up, if you go to DIYliberty.org, and you can look up, this is important, what the mainstream media and your own government, public servants and department heads, are not telling you about the flu scam. Please note that I express my opinion, perspective, and position on this horrific COVID circus flu scam from the fact that the insanity of going along with or complying with it all, only feeds and fills the pockets of the very few billionaires out there. As time moves on, we're seeing more deaths and worse bodily side effects from their Kool-Aid. My conclusions is this: the Mary, Roger, Nancy Alpha, right, Kool-Aid are genocidal bioweapons. There's no other way to decipher this. And if you go here, you can see, besides the abundant info in this extended blog, a site was revealed, approved, and supported my conclusions. And that's right here, howbad.info. You should go there. There's some good information on there. But I just got tons of this information. I can go down this list is fucking forever. This is just tons of information, bears, all the things that happened with these, the blind's eye that we got in regards to a lot of the food facilities and production plants that were blown up, just planned demolition, and just tons of links to information that's still out there, still pertinent. Most of these are still there, and you can find out for yourself. If you ever wanted to have information on where to go and what to see in regards to, the PCR test. I mean, I had really good information on that, and how that was just really an interesting and absolutely farcical process. Because of the PCR test, in regards to Carrie Mullins, who died, who created the PCR test, which they were using to test for COVID, right? Which is really interesting. People don't even remember this. Is Carrie Mullins created the PCR test, and then he also said that it's not exact, and it could be used, and it was created to go after an infection, a virus, or some type of bacteria. Because what happens in your body is your antibody system goes into overdrive if you have your white blood cells and all these other. I'm not going to get too technical into it because there's a little piece in that I might be missing, but generally speaking, what'll happen is, let's just say you went in and you had a cut on your toenail, or on your finger, or on your elbow, or something like that. Well, right now your antibodies are heightened, so you could pop positive, right? Even just for an infection, right? As soon as it's infected, it starts to become infected, and the more infected it gets, the more elevation of these antibodies happen, and then they'll pop positive. And then the cycling of it was wrong too. And then we found out that they were counting deaths for the flu crap for people that were like jumping off bridges and committing suicide. But if they had it, which was false in the first place, then they would count it, and then people were getting big hospital doctors and all these people were getting paid money to list that as a COVID death. I mean, just nuts, just craziness, right? And they even said it. And that video is still up of Dr. Harong or some lady in Chicago or something like that. That clearly stated that being a fact. That video is still up. Yeah, just go here if you want a plethora. And I mean, this is long, and I've got this all the way from the fucking almost very beginning. And there I am, my fat ass self. And I'm clearly showing, no vaccine mandates, no more masks, leave our children alone, no more lockdowns, no more censorship. And it says right here, protect freedom of speech and to peaceably assemble. That is so huge right now. That is so huge. There's a good article somebody wrote that I slapped on here from Facebook. On January 20, 2020, the person supposedly company sheds genetic sequence or the blueprint of the Kool-Aid, of the flu stamp, right? The question no one asked. What exactly did they use to obtain the simple culture, obtain the sequencing blueprint? They never provided those people. Who or what facility, entity, company specifically created the genetic? It was from the WHO, from the World Health Organization. Okay, let's see if this is up. I wonder if that's even up anymore.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Hi, I'm Fox.
Yeah, so that's what people were, as I had stated earlier. Yeah, thank you, Eric. What did you write here? You got the Texas Troon Snake Flesh human traffickers invading submissive conservatives that turn the other cheek. Now they're nabbing young male adults for that's happening, bro. It's crazy. I'm glad you reminded me of that, because I sent out a bill that was passed during the stimulus that nobody knew about, which was titled something, and I sent it out to Ryan Christian. And what it indicated, and I'll try to summarize it or give you the synopsis, was the U.S. government was going to pay foreigners, they're called specialists, right, to start to work for us to police all this shit, the stuff we're going through now. Nurses, doctors, military, whatever. Just like it was, the amount was like almost $1 trillion, or wait, was it 100 million, or just a 100, like a fucking god awful amount of money. And that link, I'm gonna find that because I've been trying to find it. I think I just remember where I put it. But anyway, what that clearly stated is that this is internal. You know, you heard it from that lady. This is Red Dawn. We have people inside of our nation right now that are completely compromised to the World Economic Forum, ETAL, which means others and alike, you know, they're succumbed to BlackRock, Vanguard, Chatham House, Council on Foreign Relations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes down. But they're mainly to these elitists, this handful of people that want absolute and total control and power over everybody. And like I said, mass social control, master population, and then money, CBDC, financial control. And they'll have everything. What you're seeing in Netherlands and what they're going through right now is tough. And there are farmers out there have already committed suicide because they can't fight the government. This is actually happening. And when it starts to happen here, it's going to get bad. And I'm hoping that people get out on the fucking streets, protest, revolt. Just do not comply. Fuck you, fuck the fucking World Economic Forum fucking wagon you rode in on, or boat you fucking slammed into our shores on, and get the fuck out of here. This has to happen. And people need to understand that this is look, whatever they're telling you, like you just saw it, right? You just saw it. These people, right? Let me just get to that one right here. All these people, right? These all the ones that are just giving you all the lip service that Eric is talking about, right? These people are following orders from their producers. Their producers are succumb or are tainted, influenced, and compromised by their advertisers. Their advertisers, big pharma, big coal, big nuclear, big energy, you fucking name it. Hey, Snork's here. Hey, Snork. Yes, the Netherlands is horrible. It's terrible. It's tragic. So what we're really seeing right now, and what I'm trying so hard, I've been trying for, God damn it, for years now, which is sad, is to get people to fucking actually do something, because we're at that point. We are at that point. I mean, let me show you this one right here. Hang on. This one's really good. Right.
I would like shortly to warn people from upcoming danger for humanity. The World Health Organization wants all countries to sign an agreement on handing over the authority to declare a pandemic, procure vaccine and drugs. It would be healthier and safer for humanity to sign agreement with the Colombian drug cartel. They know all about drugs for sure. During the COVID pandemic, World Health Organization only told lies. It should be declared a terroristic organization. They lied that is a new and known virus, that is possible to make an effective vaccine, that the vaccine is 82% effective, that it protects against serious illness and deaths, that all, of course, were foolish and lies. Today, World Health Organization is more dangerous for humanity than World Economic Forum. Thank you.
A new effort that we're a part of is the new initiative launched by the World Health Organization last week to try to catch kids up on their routine immunizations. In 2021 alone, more than 25 million kids under the age of 1 missed at least one routine immunization. And so we're working with WHO and the Gates Foundation and others. A new effort that we're a part of is the new initiative launched by the World Health Organization last week to try to catch kids up on their routine immunizations. In 2021 alone, more than 25 million kids under the age of 1 missed at least one routine immunization. And so we're working with WHO and the Gates Foundation and others to hopefully have the largest kind of childhood immunization effort ever over the next 18 months to catch as many kids up as possible, because no one should die of polio or measles or pneumonia, including in this country where we also need people to be vaccinating their kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's the product of a murderous whore, right? Let's just get that out of the way. And I gotta now read Eric's comments. Horseface Clinton. Okay, that's it. And I was muted. Sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that, you know, that the guy that was on there before is, you know, saying that the WHO is more dangerous than the WEF, but they're connected to the hip. They're the same entity. They're the part of the same group. No, they want to destroy it. Hey, hello, Snork. They want to destroy people. Like I said, fuck. They're just trying. It's depopulation, and this lady, this little spawning monster of the Clintons, spawned creature of the Clintons, is, you know, she's just part of it. She's when she, you know. My goal is for one day these people just go to jail. They'll just be gone, you know, incarcerated or however you want to do it. Wood chipper, that definitely Eric would say wood chipper. Who was the new surgeon? Yeah. So I wanted to play this one real quick. Now, I'm going to pause it here just a second. So, what that says is, I wonder if those genocidal Mary Roger Nancy Alpha bio Kool-Aids has anything to do with the declining life expectancy of the U.S. Well, as you look through that article, they blame other things, but also it's the alarming amount. It's a travesty when you go through that article. And that's the American Medical Association did this, and this is on Twitter. And I went through it, and I couldn't believe, like 17% in 2021, and it got higher in 2022, of children dying, like a raise in people, right? We just had our retirement age increased by 2 years, so will they reduce? We just had our retirement age increased by 2 years, so will they reduce the retire age for 2 years now? Yeah, I don't know who did that. So it's not 65, it's 67, the retirement age? Is that what you're saying? Is that finalized? Is that signed? Anyway, so as I go through these, I'm just going to let you know. This is a lot of TikTok stuff. Well, that one I made myself. These are the ones I'm making myself. So, which one is this? Freeze market, day patrols, bricks. Oh, yeah, I could have showed you this. Yeah, this is what bothers me, and I know Cheryl doesn't like this either. And I put this up, and they actually took this down on TikTok. I don't know why. But Mark Mealy, Anthony Fauci, Deborah Bricks, etc. received an award from Trump for the Kool-Aid for their work. And it's published, it's there, it was on the website. President Trump awards presidential commendations to Operation Warp Speed Team. Right? And he lists the people right there. There they are. Right? They're all right there. I can't see some. There it is. Secretary Jane something. There's Anthony Fauci, Bard, David Norris or something. Yeah, so, and the sad thing about it is that guy has got to turn the circuit. He's got to stop this continuation of pushing this crap, and if he doesn't, I don't want anything to do with him. I mean, if push comes to shove, I'd rather have him in fucking, I think that's where we're all at. But this is just ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And then Caitlin Johnson put out which she's kind of been iffy lately. So she said, if I can get all this, right-wing Musk heads who spent all the year championing him as an avowed enemy of the deep state are now experiencing cognitive dissonance as he selects a CEO who shared positions with the World Economic Forum, which many of them believe is the ultimate seat of the deep state. It is. They're all connected. Trust no one. That's what I said. So this is the lady that he selected, Elon Musk, and Zero Hedge got this out, which is good. Musk is hiring Yesenero in hopes of boosting advertising. But she's also the same one that said it was okay to eat bugs. Eat the bugs. You must eat the bugs. I mean, this is So it's hard to trust anybody. That's why I keep telling everybody, just fucking get out there, for fuck's sakes. For fuck's sakes. What else do I have here? I'm actually going to close up in a little bit. It's getting kind of late. I started late because I was at the family with the daughter and the kids, and we looked at the new telescope. I picked up a new telescope for my grandson, and we were checking out the moon and the craters. We didn't see the moon landing though, but which is probably there. What changed in the last 30 years? This is a good one. What changed in the last 30 years? And this is an actual published piece of information. So ADHD came out of nowhere. That's just made up shit. Alzheimer's disease came out of nowhere. 290. Autism, right? Up by 2,094. Bipolar disease in youth, 10,833 times more. You know, and if you go down this line, lupus and all this other crap, right? All this stuff wasn't around. And as I'm telling you in the beginning of the show, the food that we're eating, like for example, this one right here, right? This one right here, this is, Bill Gates creates this stuff called a peel. It's a plastic coating that's supposed to preserve fruits and vegetables, etc. And it's not supposed to be bad for you. But here's the fucking problem. People have gone through its substances. It's like total and absolute poison. Right? Yeah, I get that. Nobody eats a peel, but hey, that stuff soaks in. It gets through, and he knows it. You know, we were shipping stuff on trains and boats forever. And all of a sudden, now they got this fucking crap. It's fucking ridiculous, man. It's fucking ridiculous. Let me see, what else did I save here? What's happening here? Taking in 15-minute cities. Yeah. It's weird that stuff happens every 100 years. Right? 1720, bubonic plague, 1820, 1920, 2020. Interesting how that all just kind of happens. Right? It's like they kind of set it up that way. For our people with human resources. Education. And by the way, thank you guys for bopping in right now. I really appreciate it. But share if you can. Share my information. Share my content. When I was swinging, I didn't risk. I'll clip education. I've already went over that. I think this was CERN Me, the Great Reset. Which one is this one? Yeah, here's one of my favorites. Greta Thunberg, who panicked an entire generation over the climate change hoax, says it was just metaphors. There was no scientific study.
Yes, when you're talking about climate change, you have said, quote, I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day. Is there what particular study or scientific report did you read that made you come to this conclusion?
Thank you for your question. First of all, let me just clear that those are metaphors. In speeches, you often use metaphors. Of course, I don't mean literally that I want people to panic. So there was no scientific study that made me come to that conclusion.
Oh, okay. So you didn't say that.
I did, but it's the metaphor that you often use in speeches.
As when you're talking about climate change.
Yeah. Just when you hold them accountable and you put them in a corner, you start to find out the bullshit, you know. And there's a lot of stuff out there that is still debatable. Moon landing, in my opinion, is somewhat still debatable. Don't even start with fucking flat Earth bullshit. Somebody said that the moon is a satellite out there left by ancient culture. Oof, you know, there was a movie about that, at least. Right. Oh, and then I wanted to bring this up that Buttar was...
You think Dr. Fauci is involved in some kind of plot to kill millions of people? I just want to make sure I understand this.
Drew, I'm a reasonable person. You're asking me what I think, and I said it could be this, but I can tell you that Dr. Fauci is not an innocent bystander. He's very well aware of what he's doing, and the extent of it and his involvement, I don't know. I'm not privy to that information.
As atrocious as Dr. Buttar's fake conclusions and conspiracy theories are, he is just one of the doctors spreading dangerous COVID disinformation to millions of people across social media, according to the Center for Countering Digital Hate. Dr. Rashid Buttar at one time had more than 1 million followers and is considered one of the top spreaders of disinformation about COVID-19. COVID disinformation to millions of people across social media, according to the Center for Countering Digital Hate. Millions of people across social media, according to the Center for Countering Digital Hate. Dr. Rashid Buttar at one time had more than 1 million followers and is considered one of the top spreaders of disinformation about COVID-19.
More people are dying from the COVID.
One of the doctors spreading dangerous COVID disinformation to millions of people across social media, according to the Center for Countering Digital Hate.
Did I hurt your feelings with my facts? Thank you. Again, muted again. This needs to go down. These kind of entities, these fact checkers, these fuckers. You know, did I hurt your feelings with my facts? Me presenting, you know, an equivocal, provable, documented, signed video, tape, whatever, to your attention, aka like fucking J6, right? Did that? Thank you, bro. Did that hurt your feelings that I'm telling you the truth? Is that hate? Because that's how they're listing it now. When you rebuttal with something that breaks the narrative and isn't part of their psyop, it's hate. So this is the problem. This is what we're up against. You know, and all these fucking people with their fucking hurt feelings is just, it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. But I'm going to be focusing on that in my next show. I'll be up and I'll be on Thursday. Just letting you know, I'm going to go after this Thursday, and I got a few other things. Yeah, I am going after these motherfuckers for sure, and I am going to put them now in my favorites, so that I can fucking dissect the fuck out of this place. What else we got here? Yeah. Do us a big favor. Go to stopthewf.org. Please try to follow these very simple instructions. I'm going to just kind of give it to you real quick. in regards to what you're doing out there when you're protesting. And this is the way you don't get compromised, right? Is you're going to do it this way. Very important, right? This is the very important section. I'm going to open up and scroll through it slowly, so you understand how vitally important it is to follow what I'm about to throw out there. Okay, and you'll understand what I'm talking about once I start to get into it. Here, it's really simple, right? So, very important. Remember, right? Remember, this is super important. When you are out there, and I recommend going to a media station, a mainstream media corporate office. Go to a Capitol or something, that's fine. But get out in front of the media. Let them know that you're out there, right? Go out in front of Pfizer. Go out in front of Moderna. Go out in front of AstraZeneca. Go out in front of, where the WHO offices are, where the WEF offices are. Go out, but I would recommend go out in front of the mainstream media for sure. So if you go through here, very important, remember, you are taking the action to protest and or revolt solely and completely on your own as an individual and have done your own research, checked your own resources, and made the choice / decision on your own accord to bring attention to the World Economic Forum's tyrannical, dystopian, authoritarian global agenda so that others will unite to stop them. That's it. That's why you're out there, right? You have individual rights. You have individual rights. There is no point person or contact person to meet up with, but you can meet up with your buddies, whatever. But make sure you stay solid to what I'm saying, all right? You show up on your, you say, I showed up on my own. I should fucking script this. It is vital for you to understand that the reasoning behind you being an individual in your activist endeavor puts no liability, this is super huge, no liability on anyone but yourself, or places any liability from others, especially anyone else, upon you. Remember, you are doing this as a free individual, and you as an individual have every right to peaceably assemble and protest in the United States or your nation as a human right? Watch, march, stroll around, carry a sign, and chant. The global protest revolt is the only one solution, in my opinion. Remember, a few parasitically do have money, power, and influence, but the one thing they don't have is each other, and we have each other. You also stopped the WHO Treaty Pandemic Accord. The WHO, once Biden signs it, the treaty suspends the U.S. Constitution, protects and permits to foreign countries, military, NATO, UN full access on our nation's land to force us of whatever the WHO, NATO, Bill Gates, China wants, right? Call every politician you can and demand they stop all that crap. The number I think I can give it to you, as I know it by heart, it's 202-224-3121. Call every politician you can and demand they stop the WHO-CA, aka Zero Draft Pandemic Treaty, aka World Together Equitability. This is the most destructive, heinous piece of paper that Biden could ever sign, and everyone needs to make sure that it is stopped. I got to put an IT, damn it. It's stopped. Okay. There's not going to be a place to hide out in the forest or in the fields. There's not going to be an escape zone or a sanctuary area that they'll save you, that they'll save for you, right? They're going after everybody, people. That's what I'm saying. Get off your ass and protest and or revolt, right? What is this TikTok here? They don't want anybody living outside. Yeah. So this shows somebody out there in the middle of nowhere.
And that kind of thing or have some sheep or some chickens. These people are a threat to the collectivist society because they aren't going to go to the politicians and say, please feed me, please.
No, that's incorrect. They're going to come after you. We need to stop this now. That's my goal, is to stop this fucking craziness, get us back on track, stuff like that, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, that's it. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm going to go to sleepity sleep pretty soon. And that's it. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for showing up, Eric. Good seeing you, Snark. Thursday I'll be on. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to go after these fact checkers kind of big time. But again, good night, aloha. Take care. Bye.